Mello Yello asks,
How would you stay smooth?
hello everybody, it's I, your host today, Sam, kicking off this new episode of All Things Nostalgia, whether it be from the 80s, 90s, or even 2000. Now, where there is a Pepsi, there is a Coke. Where there is a 7-Up, there is a Sprite. Where there is a Muggs root beer, there is an A&W root beer or a Barks root beer. Where there is a Brisk iced tea, there is a Nestle iced tea. And where there is a Mountain Dew, there is a Mello Yello. Competition between these two companies has been going on between the longest times, and if you don't know, the two companies, obviously Coke Incorporated and Pepsi Incorporated, have been kind of competing with each other, have been like the two titans clashing with each other for as long as their existence has happened to be a thing, really. And for that reason, Mello Yello was created in 1979 to be a direct competition to Mountain Dew. Now, I, of course, am one of those people who is more partial towards Coke, and I have, had the chance to partake in Mello Yello when it was still available to me. And you might be asking yourself, what does this have to do with the 90s? What does this have to do with the 2000s? And what does this have to do with the 80s? Well, Mello Yello used to come out with some fantastic commercials back when, commercials were actually able to do their job in a more humorous way or a more enticing way. At least that might be my nostalgia talking, but regardless, Mello Yello had such instances as,
my intentions are every bit as honorable as yours were when you met Mrs. Thomas.
Mello Yello. Smooth. Very smooth.
also
Hi.
and then they also did this.
Mello.
Yeah, they had some fantastic commercials. Those three happen to be my top three favorites of the Mello Yello commercials. Mello Yello usually has a three-structure system to their commercials. It is wrong answer, right answer, and it stayed consistent through all that Mello Yello asks, which ended up with a usually humorous ending of some way, shape, or form, which, as campy or nostalgic as those commercials may be, they still hold a nostalgic place in my heart. I always remember those commercials. The commercials did their job. I will never forget them. And I'll talk more about this as to why I also can never forget the IKEA lamp commercial. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, but that will be an episode for another time. Unfortunately, Mello Yello, at least where I am, doesn't seem to exist anymore, and all we get is Fresca. You're not Mello Yello, and I don't like you. Regardless, that nostalgic taste has remained fresh in my memory, and I long to go back to those days where I was able to enjoy Mello Yello as it was, which coincidentally also happened to be the time when we had in many of our pop bottles the codes that you could look under, and hey, sometimes you could win a prize, whether that prize be a free Coke, or soft drink, or whether it could be a even bigger prize. And I miss those days. I miss the days where you could open up the bottle cap, see a little code at the bottom, input the code onto the website, and win something, potentially. That was the time when Mello Yello was fresh for me, when I was able to have Mello Yello, where Mello Yello was a product readily available. Now, obviously, Mello Yello still exists somewhere out there, likely in America and some other places, but it doesn't exist here. And that's what hurts. It's still one of my favorite drinks. I would readily replace Mountain Dew for it. I am more of a Coke connoisseur than a Pepsi one, and if I could help it, I wouldn't be caught dead with Pepsi in my hand at all. But yet, there were some good Pepsi products out there as well, which I will also talk about in a future episode. Regardless, Mello Yello, It holds a special place in my heart, a special nostalgic place in my heart, especially the commercials, and hey, it may even hold a special nostalgic place in your heart. With that being said, I will leave this up to you guys. Mello Yello asks, how would you stay smooth?